Hello, everyone. How are you all? Can someone quickly confirm on the chat box if I am both audible and visible or not? Okay, thank you. So for all those of you uh, who haven't seen me earlier or who haven't attended any of the sessions that I conducted earlier, my name is Durga Shankar, and I am the Chief Mentor for UG Management with IMS Learning Resources. And I'll be taking you guys through the paper solving of IPM Indore 2020, right? So before we get into this session, let me also give you an overview of what points I want to drive through this solving session. Number one, I would like to give you some idea and insight into how do we read, understand the question, identify certain important points based on which we categorize it as A or B or C. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the ABC approach that we encourage students to follow. Now, for those of you who are unaware of it, this is how it is. A stands for a question that is very simple, easy to solve. A question that you have already solved a similar type in the past, or a question that you are confident you know how to answer and can be solved within minimum amount of time, is type A. A stands for Abhi Karo. So attempt it then and there. The second type of question is where the concept is familiar, but the type of the question is not familiar, and we are unable to exactly visualize what is the entire solving methodology. So it might take time and there is a bit of uncertainty involved. Then it is categorized as type B, which essentially stands for Baad mein karo. Meaning if we have enough time towards the end, then we come back to these type of questions and answer them. The third type is type C, which essentially stands for those questions that we don't understand. So I read a question, but I couldn't, get the gist of it, or I understand the question, but I am unable to figure out how to solve it. Where do I even begin? I have no clue. So such questions are categorized as type C, which essentially stands for chhod, right? So we will focus on how do we categorize each of these questions into the categories. And then from an exam point of view, what is the best approach that we need to think about or identify to answer these questions faster, right? So let us go question by question. Number one, the probability that a randomly chosen factor of 10 power 19 is a multiple of 10 power 15 is. The topic is probability, and the format of the question is not very common. So if I am comfortable with probability, then I will mark it as B. If I am not, I might mark it as C. So for now, I will mark it as type B. Next question. The number of acute angled triangles whose sides are 3 consecutive positive integers and whose perimeter is at most 100 is. Yes, I am familiar with the concept of triangles as to what are the properties the sides of a triangle should satisfy. But owing to the nature of this question, and when I look at the answer options, I see there are good number of triangles possible because the minimum answer option I have is 28, which sort of, makes me feel that this question might take some time to count the number. So for now, I would like to mark it as option B or type B. The equation of a straight line passing through the point M -5, 4 such that the portion of it between the axis is divided by the point M in 2 equal halves is. So in simple term, I need to find the equation of a line passing through -5, 4. So why don't I substitute the point in the answer options and verify? So if I substitute -5, 4 in the first option, then I get 10 into. Now this calculation is something that you should do mentally in the actual exam. So 10 into 4 minus of 8 into -5, which is 80. Now this is where we need to be careful. I am not going to mark option A because it has satisfied. Why? There may be other equations in the rest of the options that might also satisfy. In fact, I can have infinite points or infinite lines passing through a given point. So when we go by the answer choices, remember, we can only eliminate choices. We usually do not choose an option because it is satisfying. We choose an option because the rest are not satisfying. So if I look at the second option, now 8 into 4 plus 10 into -5 is definitely not 80. 10 into 4 plus 8 into -5 is definitely not 80. 8 into 4 plus 10 into -5 plus 80 is definitely not 0. Hence, answer option A. Now, suppose if the idea of substituting the point from the answer options didn't strike. If I want to, or let's say this is a theta question, then how do we go about? Now I am talking about a line passing through -5, 4 and intersecting x-axis and y-axis, right? -5, 4 is a point in the second quadrant. So let me say this is M -5, 4. And this is the line passing through M. Okay. Now, since this point, the point at which the line is intersecting the x-axis, I would say the x coordinate is x and y coordinate is 0. And the point at which it is intersecting the y-axis is 0, y. Now it is given that M is a midpoint. Now I hope you remember the midpoint formula from the coordinate geometry. So I can say x plus 0 by 2 is equal to -5, which gives x is equal to -10. And y plus 0 by 2 is equal to 4, which gives y is equal to 8. So now I know the line I am looking for passes through 3 points, -5, 0, -5, 4, and 0, 4. Or since you know the x-intercept and y-intercept, you directly use the double intercept form, which is x by a plus y by b is equal to 1. Substitute the x-intercept and y-intercept, you will get the equation of the line. So either you substitute the answer options or you solve it in this manner. But essentially a type A question. Next one. The value of cos square pi by 8 plus cos square 3 pi by 8, etc. Now, we know that most of these type of questions end up being simple. All that we are supposed to do is to identify the terms where we need to replace them with another term that will give us an opportunity to use one of the defined trigonometric properties. So cos square theta, the moment we see that, the first rule or the first property that we try to apply is sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. And this is a quite a familiar type of question as well. So when I take cos square 5 pi by 8, I can write it as cos square pi by 2 plus pi by 8. We know pi by 2 is 90 degrees. Cos 90 plus theta is minus sine theta, but because there is a square, it becomes sine square theta, which is sine square pi by 8. By similar logic, I can say cos square 7 pi by 8 is equal to cos square pi by 2 plus 3 pi by 8. By similar logic, it becomes sine square 3 pi by 8. So now the entire equation becomes sine square pi by 8 plus cos square pi by 8 and sine square 3 pi by 8 plus cos square 3 pi by 8, which is nothing but equal to 1 plus 1, 2. Answer option C. So a type A question. Next one. If 1 by 1 square plus 1 by 2 square plus 1 by 3 square so on till infinity is pi square by 6, then the value of 1 by 1 square plus 1 by 3 square plus 1 by 5 square so on to infinity is. Now this, I am sure, will be categorized by different students in different ways. For someone who feels sequences and series is something difficult to understand, they might consider this as type C. Or someone who's comfortable or okayish with the topic but not familiar with this type might say it is B. Or that particular student who has solved enough number of questions and has seen a similar type of question would definitely try to solve this, right? So since I have to justify the majority, I would either consider it as A or B, but mostly B, right? Now, next one. A man is known to speak the truth on an average 4 out of 5 times. He throws a die and reports that it is a 5. The probability that it is actually a 5 is a bit, tricky, because I need to look at two things. One, whether he is speaking truth or whether he is lying, and whether the number that is showing on the die is 5 or not. So definitely not type A. So it might be type B or C. I'll come back to it later. Logarithms is something that I always keep telling students that this is one of the topics that most of the students find it difficult. But in actual, most of the questions are quite simple. You'll only have to look beyond how they seem to be. The problem with logarithms is they look clumsy. When I have log, base this, power that and all, it looks clumsy. But if you can look beyond that clumsiness, believe me, 90% of the questions are so easily possible. So this question, for some of those who are not very comfortable with logarithms, might say is B, or someone who's slightly familiar with logarithms can do it easily. So two ways. One, I can substitute the value of X. I can substitute the answer options and check, or I can solve it directly. Now, if I want to solve it directly, log base 5 of log x square minus 1 base 8 is equal to 0. Now, the value that I am enclosing in a box, suppose if I say is equal to k. So log k base 5 is equal to 0 by definition gives me the value of k as 1, meaning log x square minus 1 base 8 is equal to 1. According to the definition of logarithm, I get x square minus 1 is equal to 8 power 1, 8. X square is equal to 9. X will be 3 because anyway logarithm is not defined for negative numbers. So definitely a type A question. Now the moment I see this question, I have lost half interest. The question is so big, so clumsy and all. So probably a type B or type C. I don't even want to look at it. Yes, Neha, that's what I said. In the 17th question, there is always a possibility to substitute. 50 liters of mixture. The moment I see anything remotely connected to mixture, allegations, solutions, I start shivering. Because those questions are very confusing and, has... Which one, Rishabh? Which one are you not getting the solution for? See, that's a thought process that, we need to practice towards. So the reason why I am, speaking so much or explaining these points is because you'll understand, okay, this is the type of thought process we need to build, or this is how we look at a question. These are the highlights that we need to identify, etc. Right? Okay. So, the moment this is like mixtures and allegation, this is either a B or a C for me. I can't obviously solve right away. Now, 3 workers working together need 1 hour to construct a wall. The first worker working alone. Okay. Now, time and work, which is okay. But again, the nature of the question and the type of the options sort of make me rethink. I'll say this is type B. In a class, students are assigned roll numbers from 1 to 140. All students with even roll numbers opted for cricket. All those whose roll numbers are divisible by 5 opted for football. And all those whose roll numbers are divisible by 3 opted for basketball. I'll take a pause here. Acha. So this seems to be a problem involving 3 Venn diagrams, which most of us find it time consuming or difficult. So definitely not a type A question. Given f of x is equal to x square plus log x base 3 and g of y is equal to 2y plus f of y, the value of g of 3 equals to. Now this is just substitution. So if I substitute 3 in place of y, I get 2 into 3 plus f of 3. And if I substitute x in 3 in place of x, so f of x is x square plus log x base 3. So f of 3 will be 3 square plus log 3 base 3, that is 6 plus 9 plus 1, 16. Answer option A. Which one, Ira? The previous question, the time and work one. Set theory, yes. If you apply the formula, you will get. Now see, again, I am not talking about whether it is a type A or B or C for me, beta. I am trying to give you a perspective of how a normal student or a generalized student would evaluate it. Now, I can tell you for sure that the thought of applying the formula of A union B union C, right, for that particular question has come up because you have seen that question earlier or you have solved a similar question like that earlier. But not everyone would have done that. And in general, a majority of the students find set theory or Venn diagrams to be slightly difficult to understand. So I'm coming from that perspective when I categorize questions as A or B or C. Now 23, a 2 by 2 matrix. Again, the moment we hear the term matrix or determinant, good number of students, would not be very confident of answering it. So I would say this is either B or C. Ashok started a business with a certain investment. Seems to be a problem of partnership. Usually partnership questions are simple. After few months, Bharat joined him, investing half amount of Ashok's initial investment. Let me assume Ashok's initial investment is X rupees. Bharat's investment is X by 2. Ashok invested for 12 months. Let me assume that Bharat invested for N months. So the ratio in which the profits must be divided is 12x by x into n by 2 is equal to 3 by 1, or 24 by n is 3 by 1, which gives me the value of n to be 8. So if Bharat has invested for 8 months, it means he has joined after 4 months. Hence, answer option C. So definitely a type A question. Now, next one. The average marks of 6 students in a test is 64. All the students got different marks. One of the students obtained 70 marks and all other students scored 40 or above. Okay, this seems to be a doable problem, but involves quite some calculation and all. So I will mark it as option B. Or for someone who has seen a similar type of question and can visualize in their mind as to how to answer it, this can be a type A as well. So the total score of these 6 students is 6 into 64, 360 plus 24, 384. Now, the lowest score can be 40. The second lowest. Now, I want the maximum possible difference between the second highest and the second lowest. If I want the difference to be maximum, then the second lowest should be a least possible number and second highest should be a highest possible number. Okay. So since all students have scored 40 or above, I will assume the lowest score is 40. Everyone scored different marks. So the second lowest is 41. Now, one student has got 70 marks and I want the second highest to be maximum. Now, if I say the maximum is n, then the second highest is n minus 1. And if I want the value of n to be maximum, the remaining values must be minimum. So I can say the person who scored the third lowest is 42. Because when I make the score of the third person lowest, I have more marks that can be allotted for the highest ones. Now I add, what do I get here? 2n minus 1 plus, now 40 plus 41 plus 42 is 123 plus 70. So 193 is equal to 384. So 2n is equal to 384 minus 192. Oh, there is a 70 as well, right? My bad. So these type of mistakes also happen. In an exam, I might miss one question, right? 1 mark or 1 score, and then I calculate it in this manner. So 384 minus 192, I get 192. N is equal to 192 by 2, 96. But none of the answer options will have 96, right? So going back, to rectify the mistake I have made, is equal to 384. So 2n is equal to 384 minus 262, which will give us 122. So 2n 123. We have to subtract the marks. So this is what happens in good number of situations in the exam, where we end up making a small calculation mistake and we waste a lot of time to identify the mistake. In most of such situations, we will not be able to identify the mistake. Okay, so it's better to leave it then and there and move on, or you can always come back, right? Hitansh, I know that I am doing certain mistakes deliberately because in an actual exam, it so happens. Okay. So if we look at the actual calculation, it's 2n minus 1 plus 40, 41 and 42 is 123 plus 70 is 193 is 384. So 2n is equal to 384 minus 192, which is equal to 192, and n is equal to 96. So the maximum possible difference between the second highest and the second lowest is 95 minus 41, which is 54. So this is one of the questions that seems to be a bit difficult, but in actual, it's not. Or for some of you, it might seem to be a very easy question, but only once you start doing the calculation, you might end up making a mistake somewhere because there are multiple variables involved. Okay, next one. I think data interpretation is an underdog. It has been a practice for IPMAT Indore that every year there is one set of 5 questions, either from data interpretation or logical reasoning or a combination of both. And I have seen most of the students simply ignoring it. But believe me, guys, good number of situations, it would be a great supporting factor, right? In fact, this particular set here, I'll show you, how much of inherent support it can provide us, right? So let's see what is the data given here. The table below presents the quoted and sell price of 5 stocks during 5 trading days of a given week. The quoted sell price is the price at which an investor can sell a stock in the market. The quoted buy price is the price at which an investor can buy a stock from the market. All the quoted numbers are in Indian rupees. Okay, just to understand, suppose if I take one brand, Dabur, on Monday, if I want to buy a stock of Dabur, it is 462 rupees. If I want to sell, it is 460. On Tuesday, 458 is the buying price, 455 is the selling price. Same way, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Brilliant. Now let us see what the questions are asking. If an investor had 36 lakhs to invest in any particular single stock, and she could buy the stock only on Monday and sell it off on Friday, then the stock she should buy on Monday to earn maximum possible profit during the week. Now, if I'm looking at maximum possible profit, then it does not matter how much I am investing, because he's not asking how much is the profit. He's asking which month or which day or which stock gives you maximum profit if you buy on Monday and if you sell it on Friday, which is something I believe can be answered by observation. Second one, if an investor planned to invest 36 lakhs in purchasing HUL on Monday, sell them off on Wednesday, and use the entire proceeds to purchase the stocks of Britannia on the same day and sell them on Friday, then the total investment return during the week would be. So I need to calculate how much it would cost to buy on Monday, sell on Wednesday, again buy on Wednesday, sell on Friday, and the profit percentage. Seems to involve certain calculations. And also look at the answer options. 2.8, 3, 3.2, 3.4. So close, man. I can't do it without the help of a calculator, and the on-screen calculator is one, something that according to me is useless, except in very, very few cases. So 27th one is probably a time-consuming question. Okay, now let's go one question after the other and see how do we answer this. Now, if I look at the maximum possible profit, anyway, Dabur is not there in the answer options, so I don't even have to consider that. Now, if I look at the remaining 4 options, now suppose if I consider Marico. Now, Marico is like buying price is 346. And selling price is 372. So how much is the profit, guys? So 346 to 372, it's typically 26 rupees on 346 rupees. Let it be like that. Next, if I take HUL, 1933 to 1969, it's a profit of 36 rupees on 1933. Oh, it's 1966. So it is 33 rupees. ITC, I buy for 238, I sell for 253, which means it's 15 upon 238. And Britannia, I buy for 3046, I sell for 3140. So it's essentially 94 upon 3046. So let me see which one gives me maximum profit. Typically, the biggest fraction. If you are someone who knows your way around numbers and can compare and identify the answer, you can do it. If not, you do a bit of calculation. For example, 10% of 346 is 34.6. So 5% is half of that, which is 17.3. So my answer 26 is between 5 and 10%. Now, when I look at 5% of 1933, it's around 995, something like 96 point something, but the numerator is 33, so less than 5%. Suppose if I say 10% is 240 approximately, then 5% is 120, but numerator is only 12. Numerator is only 15, slightly more than 5%. Now here 10% is 3046, 10% is 304.6, 5% is 152.3, but the numerator is 94, so less than 5%. So with that calculation, I can say Marico is the stock that gives us maximum possible profit. If you are not someone who's comfortable with calculations, maybe this is not something that you should do. So it would be either A or B. Question number 27. This is definitely a type C. The difference between the quoted buy and sell price of a stock is referred to as spread of the stock. the average spread of the stock is lowest on. Ira, yes, you can do the same. But even then, you're going to get the same. Because suppose if I look at 461, 372 upon 346. What did I do essentially? I have written it as 1 plus 26 by 346. And since this 1 is going to be common in everyone's case, 26 by 346. Right? Yeah, Sarah, I will. Welcome. So it seems the difference between the buy and sell price on a given day is spread. The average spread of the stock is lowest on. Okay. Now, if I look at Monday, what is the difference? Monday, the difference in the selling price and buying price for Dabur is 2, for Marico is 1, for HUL is 2, for ITC is 1, and for Britannia is 2. So total 8. I'm not going to calculate the average because every day there are 5 stocks, which means I am going to divide every day by 5. Why? Next, Tuesday. Tuesday is 3 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1 plus 1. This is 9. Wednesday, it is 1 plus 3 plus 2 plus 5. I'll stop here itself because it is more than 8. I want the lowest. The lowest I have as of now is 8. Thursday, 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4. Done. I'm leaving it. It's more than 8. Friday, it's 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3. Done. Leave it. So Monday is the answer. Definitely a type A question. A brokerage firm charges 0.1% trading commission on the value of shares bought or sold through its trading platform. If an investor bought 1,000 shares of Britannia on Tuesday and sold all of them on Thursday. So let us see what is the value of the transaction. So he bought 1,000 shares of Britannia on Tuesday, which is 3,100, plus he sold 1,000 shares of Britannia on Thursday. Or Tuesday buy is 3,101 and Thursday sell is 3,025. So 1,000 into 3,101. So this plus 3,025, which is 6,126. This is the total transaction value. And doesn't matter whether it is buying or selling. Whatever transaction I do, I'll have to pay 0.1% commission. So into 0.1 by 100. Right. So 2 zeros gets cancelled out here. And 0.1 and 10 gets cancelled out. So 6,126. Definitely a type A question. Next one. Nisarg, 28 question says, the difference between the buy and sell price of a stock is referred to the spread. The average spread of the stocks is lowest on. So Monday, if you see, the difference between the buy and sell price of Dabur is 2. Marico is 1. HUL is 2, ITC is 1, and Britannia is 2. So the total spread is 8. To calculate the average spread, I'll divide by 5. But since I'm going to divide it by 5 every day, and I'm comparing to find out the lowest, it is fine even if I leave it like this. Because the day on which the average spread is lowest, the total spread will also be lowest. Understood? Welcome. Now, if you had decided to invest 36 lakhs worth of ITC stocks on Monday, then the day on which you should choose to sell the stocks to earn maximum possible profit would be. Now, ITC buying price on Monday is 238. Now, which day should I sell to get maximum profit? When is the selling price highest for ITC? 238, 246, 221, 253. So for ITC, the selling price is highest on Friday. So if I sell on Friday, I'll get maximum profit. Type A. Now, if you observe, guys, the single set of data interpretation, which at the beginning seemed to be something that is difficult, complicated, involving a lot of calculations. Out of 5 questions, there are 3 questions which are so easy. Imagine 3 into 4, 12 marks, which is almost half the cutoff of the MCQ section in that year. You know that? So looks can be quite deceiving. So unless you read, understand what it is asking, you can't determine whether it is an easy or a difficult question. So if you see, if you have handled the same paper, handled the paper in the same manner by only identifying the type A options to begin with. Yes, Yatharth? Now, this is a question that you shouldn't be asking now. It has been tradition that every year, now I mentioned this, there's nothing to be sorry about. I'm just saying that these details, every one of us should be already aware by now. Because number one, if you look at the past 3-4 years of IPMAT Indore, you will see every year in the MCQ section, there is a set of 5 questions, which is either data interpretation or logical reasoning. And in good number of situations, these are doable questions. Now, see, you may not be able to answer all 5 questions, right? But in this, there are at least 3 questions that you could have answered, right? So if you see, guys, now if we go back to the beginning and simply count, I did not take any risk. I tried identifying only those type A questions, and I have invested certain time on them to begin with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or chalo, I will not take this because this is B for sum. Only 5 questions till now. 6, 7, 8. And 8 into 4. 32 marks. And the cutoff for the MCQ section in that year was 26 marks. Now tell me, is it that difficult to get this score? No. What is it that you should do? Play smart. This is not a math Olympiad, right? No one is trying to test you as to how strong or how much of a super duper knowledge you have on math. All that you are expected to do is within the time limit, with the available resources, which is the set of questions. What is the maximum output you can generate? That's all. So don't fall in love with questions. Do not spend more than necessary time on any questions. Do not solve or leave questions because they are from a specific topic that you like or you don't like. Always read the question, understand what it is asking, and only then categorize it as ABC. Right? Now remember one thing, guys. If you answer an easy question correctly, they'll give you 4 marks. If you answer a difficult question correctly, even then they will give you 4 marks. No one is going to come and give you 10 marks or 20 marks because you have solved the toughest question in the exam. No. So your entire objective should be divided into 2 parts. Step 1, how fast can I answer the easy questions and doable questions so that I go as close to the cutoff as possible. Objective 2, in the remaining time, how do I maximize my score? So for the first stage, that is to reach the cutoff, we bank on most of A questions and a few B type questions. And to maximize the score, we use the remaining B type questions. So if you see, I'm telling you once again, I haven't, gone through any, or I haven't solved, or I haven't considered any of the tough questions. All the 8 questions I have taken, I'm sure are easy for any student who's barely knowledgeable about the concepts. So if you are familiar with the basics, and if you have done a bit of practice, and remember when I say practice, it is not only about the number of questions or exercises that you have solved, it's also about the understanding and knowledge and different approaches that you were able to build through that practice. So if anyone has done that minimum effort and play smart in the exam to understand the question and identify the doable ones, 75% of the job is done. Okay. Now, let us look at the other questions as well. Yes, Saksham, I will definitely solve the other questions as well. Now, if we look at the very first question. Now, the probability that a randomly chosen factor of 10 power 19 is a multiple of 10 power 15 is. Okay. Part 1. Factor of 10 power 19. How many factors does 10 power 19 have? Now 10 power 19 can be written as 2 power 19 into 5 power 19. So number of factors is 19 plus 1 into 19 plus 1, 400. Out of these 400 factors, I want to know how many are multiples of 10 power 15. Now multiples of 10 power 15. Acha. So if I want a number to be a multiple of 10 power 15, then the power of 2 must be 15 or more. I repeat, if I want a number to be a multiple of 10 power 15, a multiple of 10 power 15 should have the power of 2 and 5 equal to or more than 15. Which means the power of 2 should be 2 power 15 or 16 or 17 or 18 or 19. I can't go beyond because I am talking about a factor of 10 power 19. And power of 5 should be 5 power 15 or 5 power 16, 17, 18, 19. So any factor of 10 power 19, if I want it to be a multiple of 10 power 15, it should choose the power of 2 from these 5, and it should choose the power of 5 from these 5. So power of 2 can be selected in 5 ways. Power of 5 can be selected in 5 ways. So 5 into 5, 25 by 400 or 1 by 60. Next one. The number of acute angle triangles whose sides are 3 consecutive positive integers and whose perimeter is at most. Number 1, I want an acute angle triangle, which means I need to look at the sides which satisfy the property that a square is less than b square plus c square, where, believe me, a is the largest side. Which one I can't? The previous question. Okay. So can you tell me at which point, I have lost you, or which point you want me to explain? Last point. Now, what we are saying is a factor of 10 power 19, if it has to be a multiple of 2 power 15, 10 power 15, and 10 power 15 is nothing but 2 power 15 into 5 power 15. So if I want a multiple of this, then the power of 2 should be anywhere from 2 power 15 to 2 power 19. Why? Power of 2 cannot be more than 19, since I'm talking about a factor of 10 power 19. Similarly, 5 power 15 to 5 power 19. Why? Because it cannot be more than 5 power 19. So the power of 2 can be considered in 5 ways, and the power of 5 can be considered in 5 ways. Hence, total number of possible numbers is 25. I hope it's clear now. Welcome. Next one. Where were we? Yeah. Acute angle triangle, which means it must satisfy a square is less than b square plus c square, where a is the largest side. And 3 consecutive positive integers, which means the first set I can think of is 1, 2, 3. The second, 2, 3, 4. Next, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5, 6, so on till I need to go till a triplet where the perimeter is maximum 100. So 100, can I write 100 as sum of 3 consecutive numbers? No. So the maximum I can do is 99, which is 32, 33, and 34. So which means if you observe, there are 32 triplets possible, or I can have 32 triangles where the sides are 3 consecutive positive integers and the perimeter is at most 100. At most 100 means maximum 100. But I need to see how many of them do form a triangle and how many of them do form a acute angle triangle. 1, 2, 3 does not form a triangle because sum of 2 sides must be greater than the third side. Now 2, 3, 4 forms a triangle, but in fact it forms an obtuse angle triangle. 3, 4, 5 forms a triangle, but it's a right angle triangle, Pythagoras triplet. Now 4, 5, 6. Now 6 square is 36. 4 square plus 5 square is 16 plus 25, 41. 36 is less than 41. So yes, it's an acute angle triangle. And from here on, all are acute angle triangles. So from the total possibilities of 32, I need to remove these 3 cases. So 29 acute angle triangles are possible. Patterns, Neha. 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8. So from here on, you take any set of 3 consecutive numbers. It is for sure, you can see that sum of 2 numbers is greater than the third number. Difference of 2 numbers is less than the third number. And definitely the square of the highest number is less than sum of the squares of the other 2 numbers. That's how we determine that it is going to be acute for all the rest. Jayaditya, this is the property. A square less than B square plus C square. So if the square of the largest side is less than sum of squares of the other 2 sides, then it is called as acute angle triangle. Then 14th is done, 15th, right? So here, if I want 1 by 1 square plus 1 by 3 square plus 1 by 5 square, so on to infinity. So I want the sum of terms for which the denominators are square of odd numbers. Can I say it is nothing but sum of squares or sum of numbers with denominators as squares of natural numbers minus sum of numbers where the denominators are squares of even numbers. So it is given to us that 1 by 1 square plus 1 by 2 square plus 1 by 3 square, so on to infinity, is pi square by 6 minus. Now, in the remaining set of terms, if I take 1 by 2 square common, then I will have 1 by 1 square plus 1 by 2 square plus 1 by 3 square, so on till infinity, which again is nothing but equal to pi square by 6. So it becomes 3 by 4 of pi square by 6, which is nothing but equal to pi square by 8. Answer option A. Now I am sure by now most of you must have seen these type of questions. If you haven't seen this type of question, then it means you haven't done enough practice, because this is something which is very commonly seen, where we are given the sum of all natural numbers and we need to find the sum of odd numbers, which we do by subtracting the even numbers from overall set of numbers. Next one. A man is known to speak the truth on an average 4 out of 5 times. He throws a die and reports that it is a 5. Now, if I look at the total probability, 2 cases. The man is speaking the truth, for which the probability is 4 by 5, and that it actually is a 5. When I roll a die, what is the probability that it will show a 5? 1 by 5. Or the man is lying, 1 by 5. The man is lying means it is not 5. So the probability of 5 not showing up is 5 by 6. Now this is the total probability, but I want the probability that it is actually a 5. Now it's actually a 5 means the man is speaking the truth and it is actually a 5. 1 by 6. Thank you, Arjun. 4 by 5 into 1 by 6 plus 1 by 5 into 5 by 6. So this is equal to 4 by 30 whole divided by 4 by 30 plus 9 by 30, which is equal to 4 plus 5. 4 by 4 plus 5, which is 4 by 9, option A. Next one. This is a classic example, guys. For the statement that I often make, looks can be deceiving. This is such a simple, easy question. So anyone who has left this question just by or based on the reason that it seems to be difficult or it looks clumsy, you have lost a good opportunity. Now, when 0 less than x less than 1, 1 by 1 plus x is less than 1 minus x plus x square. And in the second option, it says 1 by 1 plus x is greater than 1 minus x plus x square. So when 0 less than x less than 1, 1 by 1 plus x and 1 minus x plus x square. Let us say x is equal to 1 by 2. So 1 by 1 plus 1 by 2, which is equal to 1 by 3 by 2 or 2 by 3. And 1 minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 square, which is 1 by 4. That is 3 by 4. Now 2 by 3 is 0.66. 3 by 4 is 0.75. So 2 by 3 is less than 3 by 4. Or 1 by 1 plus x is less than 1 minus x plus x square. So statement 1 is true. When minus 1 less than x less than 0, relation between 1 by 1 plus x and 1 minus x plus x square. Let's take x is equal to minus 1 by 2. So 1 by 1 minus 1 by 2, that is 1 by 1 by 2, which is 2. And on the other hand, 1 minus of minus 1 by 2 plus minus 1 by 2 whole square. Now this is definitely less than 2. I don't want to even know how much it is. So 1 by 1 plus x is greater than 1 minus x plus x square. So 1 and 4 are true. Answer option C. Now you see how simple and easy this question was. Before solving it, any one of you have thought that it would be so easy? No. Hence, you need to look beyond how the question seems to. Read the question, only then decide whether it is easy or difficult. Next one. 50 liters of mixture of milk and water contains 30% water. So 15 liters water and 35 liters milk. This mixture is added to 80 liters of another mixture of milk and water that contains 20% water. 20% in 80 liters is 16. So remaining 64 is milk. So total milk is 99 and total water is 31. Question is, how many liters of water should be added to obtain a final solution that contains 25% water? Okay. So if I want water to be 25%, so I want to add X liters so that this is 25%, which means 99 liters of milk must be 75%. So if 75% is 99, then it implies 25% is 1/3 of it, that is 33 liters, which is equal to 31 plus X. So X is 2 liters. It means I need to add 2 liters of water. Next one. Now 3 workers work together need 1 hour to construct a wall. Okay. The first worker working alone can construct the wall twice as fast as the third worker and complete the task an hour sooner than the second worker. Okay. So first worker, second worker, third worker. Then the average time in hours taken by the 3 workers when working alone to construct the wall is. Okay. Let me assume the second worker takes X hours to finish, which means the first worker takes X plus 1. And since the first worker is twice as fast as the third worker, the time taken by the first person is half of the time taken by the third person. So the third person will take 2 into X plus 1. So in 1 hour, the first person will do 1 by X plus 1 of the work. The second person will do 1 by X of the work. The third person will do 1 by 2 into X plus 1 of the work. But it seems in 1 hour, all these 3 workers will complete the job. Yes. Right. So the LCM becomes 2 into X minus 1. So 2X plus 2 into X minus 1 plus X is necessarily equal to 1. Right. So we get 2X square minus 2X is equal to 2X plus 2X minus 2 plus X. So 2X square minus 2X is equal to, this is 5X minus 2, or we get 2X square minus 7X plus 2 equal to 0. Now, if I want to factorize this, I don't think I have an easy way out. So I'll apply the formula. So the root X is equal to minus B plus or minus square root of B square minus 4 into 2 into 2. 16 by 2 into 2. Which is equal to 7 plus or minus root 33 by 4. Now, suppose, but again, guys, do not mark the answer right away. And if you see, none of the answers match to this. You know why? Because if you see the question asked, is the average time taken by the 3 workers to construct the wall. So I need to calculate the average of the individual time taken by, which is nothing but X minus 1 plus X plus 2 into X minus 1 whole divided by 3, which is equal to X plus 2X is 4X minus 3 by 3. So 4 into 7 plus root 33 by 4 minus 3 whole divided by 3. 4 and 4 gets cancelled out. So we get 4 plus root 33 by 3. Answer option A. So definitely a type B or a type C question, purely because of the amount of time it takes to answer. Next one. Yes, Madhav. Makes a lot of sense. But it would be true in most of the cases when time and work problems involve certs. But in rare cases, it might be easy as well. But yes, what you said is true in most of the cases. Sorry. In a class, students are assigned roll numbers from 1 to 140. So total number of students is 140. All students with even roll numbers opted for cricket. So number of students who opted for cricket. Even numbers till 140, that is 70. Number of students who opted for football are the numbers divisible by 5. So multiples of 5 till 140, 28. Number of students who opted for basketball, the roll numbers are divisible by 3. Now divisible by 3 or multiples of 3 till 140. So 3 4s 12 and 3 6s 18. That's all, 46. Next. Number of students who did not opt for any of the 3 sports is. I believe there is some data missing. No, I think that's all. So how do we answer this? From here, either you can use set theory or you can use Venn diagrams, whichever you are more comfortable with, right? Suppose if I use Venn diagrams. Total is 140. Cricket, football, basketball. Cricket is 70, football is 28, basketball is 46. I will start with the most common area. So I want students who play cricket, football, and basketball, which means we are looking at roll numbers which are divisible by 5, 2, and even. 5, 3, and even. Even means 2. So numbers which are divisible by 2, 3, and 5. Numbers which are divisible by 2, 3, and 5 is 30. So numbers which are divisible by 30 till 140 is 4. Numbers which are divisible by 2 and 5. 2 and 5, which means numbers divisible by 10. So till 140, I have 14 numbers which are divisible by 10. Now, since this part is 4, the remaining part is 10. Number of roll numbers playing football and basketball, which means roll numbers which are divisible by both 5 and 3, which is 15. So multiples of 15 till 140, I have 9. Now, since I already have a 4 here, this is 5. Then number of people who play cricket and basketball, which means roll numbers which are divisible by 2 and 3, which is 6. So multiples of 6 till 140. Now 6 2s 12 and 6 3s 18. That's all, right? Now, since I already have 14 here, this is 19. Now only cricket is total cricket is 70. So 10 plus 4 plus 19, 14. This is 29 plus 4, 33. So 37. Similarly, only football, 28 minus 19 is 9. And only basketball, 19 plus 9 is 28. 46 minus 28 is 16. Now, if you see, yes, Hriday, formula would be faster. That's why I'm doing both. If you say I'm not doing only one. So if I want number of students who do not play any of these sports, which is X. It is nothing but universal set minus N of C union F union B. So 140 minus, now N of C union F union B means N of C plus N of F plus N of B minus N of C union F, C intersection F, minus N of F intersection B minus N of C intersection B, plus N of C intersection F intersection B. See, even if you apply the formula, you have to calculate all these values, right? So there is no other way. Okay. I think I somewhere. Thank you. So this is equal to 38. So what I was saying is, whether you apply the formula or you draw the picture, you will have to calculate all these values. The reason why I drew the picture is because I thought students, whoever are comfortable with the formula, can use the formula, or even if the formula doesn't strike at that point of time, once you draw the picture, you can find the answer without any formula. Next one. Now this is also an interesting one. A 2 by 2 matrix is filled with 4 distinct integers randomly chosen from the set. So let me assume I want to create a 2 by 2 matrix having ABC from these 6 numbers. So total number of different matrices I can make is 6p4, because not only selecting 4 numbers, I can also arrange them in 4 different positions. Now 6p4 is equal to okay. 6p4 is equal to 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 by 2. So 2 2s. Is it 4 factorial? 6p4 itself. Okay. 30 into 2. 180. All right. Now, let us see how many such matrices are singular. What is a singular matrix? If determinant of the matrix is 0, then we call it as a singular matrix, right? Now, let us see how many different ways we can form a singular matrix. Now, determinant of A, B, C, D. So AD minus BC must be 0, or A into D is equal to B into C. So AD and BC. Let us see what are the different values possible. Now I can say 1 into 6, 2 into 3. 1 into 6, 2 into 3. Or I can also say 3 into 4 and 2 into 6. In these possibilities, AD will be equal to BC, so the matrix will be singular. Now, if I take AD is 1 into 6 and BC is 2 into 3. So A can be 1, D can be 6, or D can be 1, A can be 6. So 2 into 2, there are 4 different matrices possible. Same is the case here, 4 matrices. So total 8. Hence, the desired probability is 8 by 180, or we can cancel 4, 2 by 45. Answer option A. How will 6P4 be 360? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Got it. Hold on. So it's 6 factorial by 2 factorial, right? 6 factorial is 720. Into 2. So it becomes 360. 8 by 360. It's 1 by 45. But is 1 by 45 the right answer? I think it is 8 into 2. I did not multiply by 2. Why? Because if you see, I am saying A is 1, D is 6, B is 2, C is 3, right? Now 1 and 6 can be swapped, 2 and 3 can be swapped, right? So there are 4. In the same manner, I have 2 and 3, 1 and 6. So 2, 3 can be swapped, 1, 6 can be swapped. So another 4 matrices. So I have 4 plus 4, 8 cases here. Similarly, I'll have 8 more cases here. So hence 8 into 2 by 360. 2 by 45. Luckily, we ended up getting the same answer. Yeah, I think we have done all the rest of the questions. Now there is one question in data interpretation, the 27th question. I think that is, the question which we should simply leave. Involves quite some calculation. Yeah. So I think that's how technically or typically that we should, conduct ourselves while attempting a paper, right? So focus on identifying the A's. So few points that you need to keep in mind, take away from this session. Doesn't matter whether it is easy question or difficult question, the marks are same. So if you want to maximize your score, your first objective should be to identify all the easy questions, to solve them correctly so that you reach the cutoff as much as possible. And the second objective should be to use the remaining time to solve a few more questions, which you know can be possible to answer, but will consume time to maximize your score. Do not decide whether a question is easy or difficult purely by how it looks or by the size of it or from the topic it belongs to. You can't categorize a question as A or B or C unless you read the question. Small questions are not always easy. Big questions are not always difficult. And remember that the exam is challenging more because of the combination of the questions that are given. It's not that all the questions are very tough. I have seen a lot of students who find it difficult to score because they have set their expectations in terms of questions at so high level. So they keep on practicing only tough questions, and tough questions, that they find it difficult to answer some of the easy questions as well. So please understand these things. Keep in mind these factors when you attempt the questions. All right. So that's all for today's session. Thanks for your time, guys. All the best. Kaustubh, the 2020 paper short answer solving session happened 2 days ago on 30th of May. You can, look for the recording on my IMS.